Hey traders, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the more recently talked about prop firms, Tradeify. So what exactly is Tradeify and how can I help you level up your trading career? In this video we'll be breaking down everything you need to know from how Tradeify works to their evaluation process, their popular straight to funded process, the rules, payout policies, and what sets them apart from the competition. Whether you're a beginner just getting started in the trading world or you've been trading for a while and are looking for a way to scale up, this video will give you all the insights you need to decide if Tradeify is the right fit for you. And of course I'll give you my honest opinion on whether Tradeify is worth your time and investment. So without further ado, let's get started. So Tradeify is a futures prop firm and it's broken down into three distinct plans. You have the advanced plan, growth plan, and straight to sim funded plan. Each of these has its pros and cons, so hopefully when you're done watching this video, you'll have an idea on which plan is exactly right for you and your trading strategy. We're going to start out by talking about the advanced plan first. The advanced plan is made up of three account options, the 50K, 100K, and 150K account. The advanced plan offers the cheapest prices compared to the other plans, but the policies may not be as attractive, and I'll get to that in a second. These are the profit targets needed to pass the evaluation relative to the account's trailing max drawdown. So although the 50K account is the easiest profit to achieve, it does offer you the least amount of buffer for the drawdown. Vice versa, the 150K account offers you the highest buffer, but you also have the hardest profit to achieve. Whereas something like the 100K account is a bit more balanced. But again, this will come down to your preference for profit achievability and drawdown protection. The advanced plan does not have a daily loss limit for any of the accounts, which is a plus. These are the max contracts you can trade for minis and micros. Minimum trading days to pass for all the accounts is 1. These are the reset fees. And now let's get to the not as attractive policies I alluded to earlier. The drawdown for all three accounts in the advanced plan is an intraday drawdown, meaning all your realized as well as your unrealized gains will count towards the trailing drawdown. So if you're making $1,000, your drawdown will also go up by 1,000 regardless if you sell or not. So definitely something to keep in mind. The other unpopular thing for the advanced plan is that it does require an activation fee for all three accounts. So although the advanced plan may have a cheaper upfront cost compared to the other plans, the overall cost when you add the activation fee after passing the evaluation is just as expensive, or even more expensive if you're referring to the 50K account, than the growth plan, which we're now about to get to. Like the advanced plan, the growth plan is made up of the same three account options, 50K, 100K, and 150K. The growth plan is more expensive than the advanced plan, but does have better features in my opinion, which I'll get to in a second. Regardless, Tradeify has discounts running often for all three plans, and I'll touch more on that towards the end of the video, but you do get to save money often. These are the profit targets needed to pass the evaluation for each account size. Here are the trailing max drawdowns, but the key thing here compared to the advanced plan, the growth plan has an end of day drawdown as opposed to the intraday drawdown, which is so much more ideal because with the end of day drawdown, your unrealized gains don't get counted towards your trailing drawdown. Your trailing drawdown is calculated at the end of the day when your trading is finished. So having this feature justifies the price increase compared to the advanced plan. The growth plan does have a daily loss limit, but once you're funded and get to a certain profit threshold, the daily loss limit will be permanently removed, and these are the profits needed for each of the accounts. The only reason a 25K account is in this image is because this image applies to both the growth plan and the straight to sim funded plan, which we'll get to in a second. But the straight to funded plan does include a 25K account, but that account has no daily loss limit as you can see here, just because the trailing max drawdown for it is already small as it is. But going back to the growth plan, these are the max contracts you can trade for each of the account sizes. The minimum trading days required to pass is 1. These are the reset fees, and unlike the advanced plan, the growth plan has no activation fee, which is a huge plus. So really if you think about it, yes, you're paying a higher upfront cost, but the difference is so marginal with the advanced plan when you also account for the activation fee. Plus, you're getting an end of day drawdown, so just something to consider. Onto the straight to sim funded plan. So this plan allows you to skip the evaluation completely, and like the title says, you go straight to a funded account. This plan is especially appealing to traders who are experienced and don't want to go through the long drawn out process of taking an evaluation. So if you decide to go with this plan, it is the most expensive. Here are the costs. Again, the straight to sim funded plan also includes a 25K account for those of you who may want to save some money. So there's no profit target you need to worry about. You're already funded. But here are the trailing max drawdowns. Like the growth plan, the drawdowns are end of day, which is a plus. The straight to sim funded plan does have a daily loss limit as I alluded to earlier, but again, it does get permanently removed when you meet these profit thresholds here. These are the max number of contracts you can trade for each account size. There is no activation fee for this plan. You're already funded, and there's also no reset option for the straight to sim funded plan. You'll need to purchase a new account again if you fail. That does it for the basic info for each of these plans, but let's get down to the more in-depth information you guys want to know about, like the payout policy and other rules you guys need to be aware of. So let's talk about the payout policy, and this applies to all three plans. Traders receive 100% of the first $15,000, but this amount is per trader, not per account. Tradeify allows up to 5 total sim funded accounts, and they could be any combination of the advanced, growth, and straight to sim account types. So unlike say Apex Trader Funding, which lets you keep 100% 100% of the first 25K per account, Tradeify only lets you keep 100% of the first 15K per trader. So say you have a total of 4 accounts with Tradeify, 1 advanced, 2 growth, and 1 straight to sim. When you accumulate 15K total profits between the 4, you no longer get to keep 100% of any profits made after that, because after that, it goes to a 90-10 split. The trader keeps 90% and Tradeify keeps 10. So although other prop firms like Apex has more favorable policies when it comes to keeping more profits, Tradeify still offers ideal features overall that may make them more appealing. The minimum trading days required between each payout request is 10 days for all 3 plans. You have to meet the consistency rule to be eligible for a payout. The consistency rule is 35% for the advanced and growth accounts, but 20% for the straight to sim funded account. And I'll expand more on the consistency rule in a bit. Tradeify offers 3 payout windows per month for all 3 plans. The first window is the 1st through the 4th. The second window is the 11th to the 14th. And the last window is from the 21st to the 24th. Once a request is made and the status is approved, your funds will be immediately withdrawn from your account and payments will be issued within 24 hours. So it's pretty fast. Tradeify uses Rise Pay to send payments. So once you create an account with them, you can have them transfer the funds to your bank account. The minimum payout amounts, meaning you have to request at least this much in order to get a payout, is $500 for the 50K accounts, $1,000 for the 100K accounts, and $1,500 for the 150K accounts. But this applies only to the advanced and growth accounts. The minimum payout amount is $1,000 for the straight to sim plan, regardless of whichever account size. For the advanced and growth plans, 5 or more of the 10 minimum trading days required have to show a profit greater than $150 for the 50K account, $200 for the 100K account, and $250 for the 150K account. This rule doesn't apply to the straight to sim plan. The minimum account balance needed for the advanced and growth plans is $100 profit over the trillion max drawdown limit. So here are the tables for both the advanced plan and growth plan that I got directly from the Tradeify website. As you can see, in order to request a payout, you have to meet the minimum balance required, and the minimum balance required is basically the respective trillion drawdown for each account size plus $100. So once the minimum balance is met, you can request a payout. But just be careful, just because you can request a payout at the minimum balance required doesn't mean you should. Let's take the 50K account for example. You can go with either plan since they're both the same amount needed. Say you get to $52,100 and you request a $1,500 payout, well then that'll only leave you with the $500 drawdown because $52,100 minus the $1,500 payout equals $50,600 and your trailing drawdown gets triggered at $50,100. So it's best to build a cushion on top of the minimum balance required. So whenever you do take a payout, you can have your full trailing drawdown amount or at least close to it. I hope all that made sense. For the straight to sim plan, it works just a bit different. Instead of a minimum balance required, the straight to sim plan has payout profit goals, meaning these are the profits you need to reach in order to request a payout. So here's the table breaking it down. So using the 100K account as an example, it's saying you need to make $6,000 in order to request your first payout, then $3,000 for your second payout, and $2,500 for your third payout and any payout after that. So kind of like the minimum balance required like the other plans, but just a bit different from payout to payout. Again, I hope all this makes sense, but please leave any questions down below if you need help. And now finally, let's talk about the maximum that you're allowed to withdraw. For the advanced and growth plans, the maximum payout is dependent on the account size and approved payout request number. Here's a table breaking it down for both plans. So let's use a 50K account size as an example. As you can see, the amount you're eligible to withdraw gets larger and larger each time you request a payout until you get to the 7th payout. From the 7th payout and beyond, you'll be able to withdraw the complete max allowed, which is $25,000 per account. For the straight to sim funded plan, here's the table breaking down the max payouts you can request as well. Again, this was taken directly from the Tradeify website. Just on a side note, Tradeify has a right to move you over to a live account at any time after a payout, but we'll talk more about the live account later in this video. Let's briefly touch on the consistency rules. As I stated earlier, the advanced and growth plans must follow a 35% consistency rule, and the straight to sim funded plan must follow a 20% consistency rule. So the consistency rule states your biggest day's profit cannot be greater than 30% of your overall profits for that payout period for the advanced and growth plans and 20% for the straight to sim plan. So let's take an example. Say you're in an advanced plan, you want to ensure you're within 35%. You simply take your current P&L and multiply it by 0.35. So say your current P&L is $2,000. 2,000 times 0.35 equals $700. So your best trading day cannot be greater than $700. But if it does get exceeded, let's say you make $900. You simply take your best trading day, which in this case is $900, and divide it by 0.35. So 900 divided by 0.35 equals about $2,000 $22,572. So you would have to get your total P&L to this amount in order to be within that consistency rule. And obviously with the straight to sim plan, you would just replace the 0.35 with 0.20. Again, I just wanted to highlight again that this rule is from payout to payout. So once a payout is approved, the consistency rule will reset and you just go from there. I want to get into some other rules as well you should definitely know about. Microscalping. The only rule Tradeify has on microscalping is that 50% or more of your profit must come from trades held longer than 5 seconds. This is not a hard rule and will always be reviewed by the Tradeify team if you do get flagged. Then there's the inactivity rule. In order to keep your account active, Tradeify requires you to place at least one trade per week, Monday through Friday, and this is per account. So if you have 5 accounts, you have to place at least one trade for each of them, which isn't that difficult to do if you choose to copy trade your accounts. Regardless, if you're unable to meet the requirement due to vacation or other matters, just notify the Tradeify team and they will definitely work with you to find a solution. There are no rules on news trading, dollar cost averaging, flipping, and scaling. You can certainly trade the news, but do so at your own risk given how volatile it can be. You can dollar cost average as well, as long as it's part of a structured strategy. It is going to be discouraged by the Tradeify team if they see you dollar cost averaging into oblivion, as they put it. So just have a clear strategy to your actions. The max number of simulated funded accounts you can have is 5 at any time, and they can make up of any of the plans, advanced, growth, straight to sim, as long as the total doesn't exceed 5. Let me just touch on the trailing drawdown again. The advanced account has an intraday drawdown, which is less favorable, and the growth and straight to sim funded plans have an end of day drawdown, which is more favorable. Your drawdown for all 3 plans and for all account sizes stops trailing you when the profits exceed the drawdown limit by $100. So here's a table I got directly from the Tradeify website breaking it down. Let's use a 50K account size as an example since the drawdown happens to be the same for all 3 plans. When you get funded, your balance starts at $50,000. Your drawdown for the account is $2,000. So your trailing drawdown will stop trailing you when you make $2,000 plus $100 profits. So in this case, the trailing drawdown stops when your balance is at $52,100. So I hope this illustration clarified the drawdown rules. Let's move on. Another rule to keep in mind is that you cannot trade micros and minis at the same time. Tradeify has this rule in place because combining mini and micro contracts can make it difficult to evaluate your position sizing and risk exposure accurately. A break of this rule can result in a loss of eligibility for a payout. The supported platforms for Tradeify are Tradeify, TradingView, and NinjaTrader, and Tradeify will have a guide on how to get you set up with a login, etc. Tradeify is looking to add support for Rhythmic and Quant Tower, but there's no estimate so far of when that'll happen, at least at the time of this video. Now finally, let's talk about the live funded account. There's a massive benefit being moved to a live account. Let me just get that out of the way first, because with a live account, it's essentially like you're trading your own personal account without having to be burdened by so many prop firm rules and restrictions. Because with a live account, there is only one rule: keep your balance above $0. If you go below $0, you obviously lose the account, but there is no trailing drawdown to worry about. Additionally, there's no more payout restrictions to worry about either. The payouts are no longer capped to a maximum, with the exception of your initial transfer balance, which I'll get to in a second, but you can withdraw as much as you'd like without having to worry about any kind of payout windows. The only thing to keep in mind is that the minimum has to be at least $250, and you can only make one request per day, which is more than fair. So in a live account, you can make $500 in a single day, and then request to withdraw that $500 on the same day. Payments are usually sent within 24 to 48 hours when a request is submitted. There are no more daily loss limits, no more consistency rules, just simply keep the balance above $0. As far as contract limits, a risk manager will discuss the limit sizing when you first move to the live account, but it will certainly be something you're already accustomed to with your trading strategy. But now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about how you actually get moved to a live account. Once you complete 4 payouts from the same simulated funded account, Tradeify will choose one of the 2 options for you. One, they still keep you in that same sim account and you just continue to trade it, and Tradeify will continue to reassess your account each time you hit a subsequent payout thereafter to see if they're ready to move you to a live account. 2, they actually do transition you to a live account, and as far as what happens to your current balance in your simulated account, they either move that balance to the live account or they move 10% of the sim funded account size amount demonstrated in this table right here, whichever is smaller. So I'll use an example for you to better understand. Say you have a 50K size sim account and after your 4th payout, your remaining balance is $53,000. That means you have $3,000 profit remaining in your sim account. Now let's look at the table. 10% of your 50K account is $5,000. Tradeify will transfer over the smaller of the 2 to the live account. So in this case, $3,000 will be transferred over. So you will now have $3,000 to trade with in the live account. Let's use another example. Say after your 4th payout, your remaining balance is $60,000 instead of $53,000. That means you have $10,000 profit remaining. Again, going back to this table, 10% of your 50K account is $5,000. So Tradeify is going to transfer the smaller of the 2 to the live account. So in this case, $5,000 will be transferred over, not the $10,000. So although the live account itself is more ideal than the sim account as far as the ability to take payouts whenever and virtually having no rule restrictions. The transfer part of it is a bit unfortunate, as you would have to give up some profits in your sim account if you accumulated a lot of it, which brings me to having multiple simulated accounts. So Tradeify only allows one live account, no more. You can't have multiple live accounts like you can simulated accounts. So let's say you have 5 simulated accounts. Whichever of the 5 sim accounts you get to your 4th payout first, Tradeify will assess if they want to transition you to a live account. If they do, here's how it works. As I stated earlier, Tradeify will take the smaller of your remaining profit balance, or 10% of this table for that account. Then they might do the same thing to the remaining 4 simulated accounts, combining all the profit balance, ultimately leaving you with just one live account. So let's demonstrate this through an example again for you to better understand. Again, say you have 5 50K simulated accounts. They each have a balance of $56,000. You earned your 4th payout on one of them and withdraw $2,000, leaving your balance of $54,000. Because it's your 4th payout, Tradeify assesses the sim account and decides to move you to a live account. The first account has a profit balance of $4,000, which is smaller than the figure indicated on this table. So the $4,000 goes towards your live account balance. Now, as far as your other accounts, the profit balance for each is $6,000, but that's more than this table. And remember, Tradeify only takes the smaller of the two. So they take 10% of the 50K, which is $5,000 for each of the remaining accounts towards your live account balance, leaving you with the total balance of $24,000 in your live account. So all your sim accounts get deactivated. You now just have one live account, but there's different variations of this. Some of the sim accounts could be combined into one live account, but then Tradeify may leave you with some sim accounts. There's a variety of factors, and Tradeify will work with you on a one-on-one basis when it comes to this transition. But going back to our earlier example, your live account balance is $24,000 after combining the accounts. So when I said earlier, in a live account, you can withdraw as much as you'd like, and there is no cap maximum. This only applies to the amount you make above your initial transferred balance, which again is $24,000. So when you start your live account on day 1, your balance is $24,000. Any amount you make above $24,000 is yours to withdraw at any time, however much you'd like, as long as the minimum withdrawal is $250. If you want to start withdrawing the initial transfer balance of $24,000 as well, you may withdraw 50% of it after 10 trading days and 100% of it after 20 trading days. The only thing you need to remember is once the live account goes below $0, you'll lose the account, so just keep that in mind. You also cannot purchase any more sim accounts while you have a live account. And the last thing I'll mention about the live account is the profit ratio will continue to be 90 to 10. You keep 90% and Tradeify keeps 10% after your first $15,000. So if you already make 15K total in your sim accounts, the 90-10 split applies on your first withdrawal of your live account. I hope all that made sense. I know it was a lot, but you'll certainly get the hang of it. So all in all, I like what Tradeify has to offer, especially because they have multiple plans to choose from. But the obvious popular feature traders are going to associate Tradeify with is their direct to funding option, which is not something a lot of prop firms offer right now. But I do like their payout structure. I'm glad they offer you a 90 to 10 payout ratio, where some of the other prop firms only offer 80 to 20, and some even lower than that. But I think most of the rules are in line with what most futures prop firms offer. The company is still fairly new compared to the other prop firms. Their payouts are fast, so that's a plus, but I am optimistic of this company going forward. I think they'll stick around. So that'll do it for this video. I am an affiliate with Tradeify, so if this video helped you in any way and you'd like to support this channel as a thank you, please consider using my affiliate link down below if you want to purchase any one of Tradeify's plans. I don't have a custom code at the moment, but I'll be sure to put down Tradeify's latest discount code in the description, and we'll continue to update it whenever they have a new sale. Thank you so much for watching. Please ask any questions in the comments down below. Hit the like button and consider subscribing for more content. Good luck in the markets, and I'll see you guys in the next vid. Peace.